Welcome to our first video lesson. In this lesson, we're going to talk a little bit about what it means to study statistics. Most people, when they think about statistics, they think about the word data. And that's not wholly inaccurate. We are going to spend our entire school year, or entire semester rather, talking about data. When we talk about data in this class, specifically, we're talking about information. And that information can come in two major categories. Our information can be word information, hair color, eye color, blood type, city of birth. We call that data categorical. It sorts things into categories. And then comes the more familiar type of data, which is numeric data. And that can be labeled as quantitative. It's counting a quantity. Quantitative comes in two different flavors, which you'll learn about in the text. Discrete and continuous. Discrete data is data that is counted. For example, number of books in a library, number of students in a stats class. Whereas continuous is stuff that's measured. Height, weight, time. Something I need a device to measure and that I can get decimal values for. In statistics, we're going to do several things with this data. So one of the first things we're going to talk about is how do we collect it? And we collect data using different sampling methods. And there is a video this week where we're going to talk about the different sampling methods that are used. After we collect it, we typically organize it. And this is usually with tables, because human beings digest tables more easily than they digest a list of raw numbers. We also tend to present it because we know that humans deal better with things that are visual rather than things that are text-based. So we're going to learn about different types of graphs that can take data and put it in a more easily digestible form. We're going to talk about summarizing data. So characteristics of a data set. Some of that is going to come from tables and graphs. We're going to look for patterns. And we're going to describe shapes that we see. We're also going to calculate things. You've probably heard of some of these: mean, median, standard deviation, values that come up in previous math classes. We're going to learn about what these are and talk about how to calculate them and why we calculate them. Everything here in this first chunk of our graph, everything in green, is what we call descriptive statistics. We are describing data. We haven't really done anything with it other than kind of collect it, organize it, make it look pretty. The next part of statistics is the meat and potatoes. And what we're going to do is we're going to analyze the data. And then we are going to make inferences with the data. And that inference part is super powerful in that we can take data from a small sample and use it to make statements about the larger population that it was pulled from. And there's typically two things we're going to do with inferences. The first is we're going to estimate unknown quantities. So, for example, I may be interested in the average number of hours students spend working on homework in statistics classes at Shasta College, but I don't really have the time to interview every single statistics student at Shasta College. So I would take a sample of statistics students and then use that sample data to make an estimate about the population average homework time. The other thing is that we can test claims that other people have made about a population value. So somebody may make a statement about the population mean income for teachers in California, and we want to verify that because we don't think that their value is believable. Well, we can take sample data and then make a statement about whether or not it's likely that that claim is valid or not. Since we're making inferences, that that area of statistics rather is called inferential statistics. So our course is primarily grouped into two chunks. This first chunk here is mostly week 1, where we're doing descriptive statistics. And some of that is going to be a review of stuff that you may have seen in high school math class. And then weeks 3 through 8, we're over here. And then the question is, what are we doing in week 2, which I didn't mention? And to get from descriptive statistics to inferential statistics, I need to use and understand probability. How likely it is that something occurs. Probability is the connector that allows us to jump from sample data to statements about a population. So week 2, we're going to focus on that probability element that will connect us from week 1's descriptions to week 3 through 8's inferential statistics. All right, so that's it for our first video. Hopefully you have a little bit of a better understanding of what we're going to study this semester. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or drop by office hours. Otherwise, I'll see you in our next video.